What's up, Julia?
Hello.
What's up?
Hi, John. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
Very
Thanks
cool.
for calling.
Yeah. All right. I'm 51. I've been working since I was 24 in a legit career. I have switched careers one time already. I'm kind of at that point again. However, my husband, who is well compensated and really good at what he does, has a very high stress job. We also have what I like to call the golden handcuffs. We're at a point in our life where we have a mortgage and college savings. So the luxury that I had when I made that first career change is the timing is not the same. I'll put it that way. I have this pattern throughout my life of retreat, hide, push it down to make way for everyone else's stress and problems. I don't stand up for my own. So here I am at a point in my life where I'm thinking I've got 9-10 good years left till I want to retire. I'm in a job that, while I love it, I feel it's at odds with its own industry, and it's just riddled with politics, and it's become rather unfulfilling and lets me lose sleep at night. But coming to my husband right now and saying, hey, this kind of sucks, I'd like to change things up, feels like an impossibility. And I'm wondering, what's my right next step, as you like to say?
Man.
I hope that made sense.
Yeah, totally. There's a lot there. There's a lot here.
Okay.
Some of it I've lived in my own marriage, and some of it I've lived with my mom's pretty amazing story. I guess all of this, for me, sits on a really concerning fulcrum, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just poke?
Yeah, how about it?
How long have you been married?
20 years.
How in a 20-year marriage are you still scared to tell your husband how you feel and what you want to do next?
I can tell him usually how I feel about most things, all right? So we have a pretty solid marriage. This is a big one, and the reason I called in or sent into your show last week was I had a particularly bad day at work, and the message back was, I need you to not get fired or quit right now. I just can't. And I went, okay. So that's my usual, okay, I'll just retreat, stuff it down, deal with it later.
Okay, so you don't have a great marriage. You have one that you have managed to peacekeep.
Yeah, that's very true. Yes. Mm-hmm.
You have an arms agreement.
Okay.
A great marriage, when you come home and say, I can't do this anymore, your husband should say, who do I need to go kill? Right? And obviously nobody, but you're kidding. And you're like, I'm a grown woman. I'm smarter than you.
Mean.
But
yeah.
And then it's, what's our next move?
Yeah.
Because the way you laid it out to me, your mortgage is more important than your husband's wife's sanity. That's insane.
It is, which is why I'm at this breaking point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that tells me, here's what I could almost guarantee you. This is not about your job. This is about your kids about to leave your house. And how old are your kids?
They're 15 and 11.
Okay. So you are starting to count the days down. You have 3 years left with one and 6 years left with another.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to realize this is my life.
Mm-hmm.
This has, I mean, every job has politics and gossip and drama. Every single one of them.
Sure does. It does. Yes.
That's
so this
life.
is why I haven't just bailed on it and run to the next one, because I'm just trading the names on the faces, right?
There you go. What you have to deal with directly is you don't like living in your own skin.
Absolutely. Yes.
And right now, you're married to somebody who doesn't care how you feel in your own skin. He just needs you to tough it up and not get fired right now because he's got this thing he wants to do.
He's got this thing he's trying to survive, I think is fair to say.
Give me more. Give me more.
Yeah. Okay. So the company he works for, he does really well. But they are being acquired soon. And there has been so much stripping of labor. Basic functions in the HR side aren't getting done. So the stress for him and his coworkers has just been, and I don't use this term lightly, astronomical. They're understaffed, overbooked. and it's an industrial field, so it's very much a man's world. And so men, they just tend to razz each other and drink and take a lot of Adderall to get through their days.
So hold on. That's not true.
Yeah. It's not?
No. And if your family is first, your job is in service to your family.
Right.
And so I'm not saying there's not seasons when you work 150 hours a week and there's not seasons when you're going to school and working, and like that's life.
Yeah.
But
it is.
The person trying to be the last person on the Titanic of a business, and we're just drinking and Adderalling and watching our family, like that's not how men just handle problems.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
I'm not saying it's the right thing to do.
Why doesn't your husband quit?
That's what he's managing.
Why doesn't he quit and get a new job?
Okay. So here's the deal. This actually happened since I contacted your show.
Okay.
They have offered him a substantial amount of money to see the acquisition through to the end.
Okay.
With no strings attached. Once that happens, he does not have to stay employed. He can. That's the money to keep.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yes, and so for the first time in a long time, we have a light at the end of the tunnel for this mess.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
But
you have a light at the end of the tunnel for his mess.
Well,
here's what's awesome. You have a light at the end of the tunnel. He does. There's a dollar amount, no strings attached.
Mm-hmm.
That's similar to when my boss calls and says, hey, your book just went #1. We want to get right back on the horse. Let's circle up and have a meeting about what the next book will be. When can we put it out?
Right.
And I listen to the conversations. We talk about it. They ask me what I'm researching and what I'm kind of obsessed with at the moment and what I want to write about, and that's all good. And then I go sit down with my wife and say, here's what our life could look like in the next 24 to 36 months.
Mm-hmm.
How would we map this out?
Okay.
And after writing 3 books in 3 years, my wife said, the best way you could show me you love me is to take a year off. Done.
Right.
Done. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a matter of what comes like, all right, here's this money and there's a light at the tunnel. It's you and him sitting down saying, okay, what is this going to mean for us? Because I don't like this life that we have. And what's cool is we have created this one, which means we can create a new one.
Right.
But what you're telling me is he would what?
Yeah, go ahead.
He would what?
No, I think he would be open to that. I just don't know that I could come at it right now and keep my poop together.
I disagree with that.
I think I would break down.
What,
do you?
Why are you at such a, like, tell me where I'm missing it.
Why am I in such a raw emotional state?
No, it's not that. It's like, here's the way I'm feeling you. Tell me if I'm wrong. You know, you're driving down the highway and you got to go to the bathroom and you got to go pretty bad, but there's no exits. And then finally there's an exit and you exit and you've had to go for a while. And right when you exit and start to turn into the gas station, it's like becomes 100x emergency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like there's a light at the end of this tunnel somewhere, and now all of a sudden it's like, I gotta happen right now. And so what I'm asking you is, yeah, why all right now? Because it doesn't sound like you're running to something. It sounds like you're running from something. And I would guess you've been running from things your whole life.
Yes.
And I want you to run to something.
Right.
What do you want to run to?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it?
No, because I think you know. I think you're real smart.
Fulfillment? Mattering?
Yeah, but those are amorphous. Those are moving targets.
Mm-hmm.
Because your husband could quit this job, not take the money, and come sit with you and be like, I love you, and this, and you'd be like, well, mattering is this, and then this, and that. Like, be specific.
Mm-hmm. I've considered, okay, so this all started with a career change as an idea to this, to find that target, not moving target. I could go back to school and get caught up. And I live in the coding world. I could learn to code again. I would enjoy that. I've thought of just quitting entirely and being a stay-at-home mom, which if you told me this 5 years ago, I would have told you were crazy. I've thought about selling our house, getting something smaller, more manageable, so that we wouldn't have the financial needs that we have, like unburdening ourselves a bit. I've thought about just learning how to deal with the day-to-day work stresses that put me in this position in the first place instead of running from them, because there are parts of this job that I do love, and I absolutely love my team and the people I'm with. It's not all bad.
What?
I'm really stuck, I think.
But you're playing at the surface. Get beneath that. Where's the disconnect?
Oh, yeah, I don't really value myself.
Why doesn't your husband value what you just said to me?
Again, he's reached a tipping point with his own stress.
No.
I don't know the answer then.
Because his stress has to be in service to something. It can't just be stress for stress sake.
Okay.
But there's something you're not either confronting or something you're not telling me that's underneath all of these things, because you've got this stirring in your chest. And my guess is it's been stirring for a long time. And it's about to burst on you. And I can't place it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're about to go do something dumb.
Yeah, reckless?
Like, do you have somebody at work that you're texting that you probably shouldn't be?
No. No, nothing like that.
Do you have money that you're spending that your husband doesn't know about?
No.
Okay, what are the things about you that nobody knows that you are trying desperately to wallpaper over? You're about to do something and I can feel it.
I feel like I'm going to just become a hermit, just withdraw entirely.
What would that get you? Like that fantasy, what would that get you?
A break.
Okay.
Growing up, I was told, I don't know, constantly that I was selfish.
Okay.
It wasn't until I moved out, started university, I kind of had to figure it out. I mean, it's a life skill, right? I was put in situations and I kind of started to figure it out. Ended up in an emotionally abusive relationship that I finally just bailed on. I cut my losses because we own property. I got out of that. Switched careers because I was dying a slow death in it. I was an engineer and switched over into the e-commerce world. And I found it much more of a creative outlet, and I enjoyed it. And I worked for a great company for years. They were my family. It was acquired and shut down. And now I'm just spinning my tires.
When was that acquisition?
It started in 2016, and I was laid off in 2019.
And you still haven't grieved that loss?
Not fully.
No.
Yep.
And then you see you're experiencing your husband going through another acquisition and the whole thing's back on fire again.
Yep.
And when everything catches on fire, your body starts pulling memories from 20, 30, 40 years ago to justify how you feel right now, why you don't deserve to be taken care of, why your needs don't matter. And it also justifies your next destructive behavior move. The next drink, the next ignoring your kids to stay on your phone, the next texting back someone you're not married to, whatever the thing is.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I know, I'm just throwing things out there.
I really think what it is, John, is avoiding, like, I'll go do my hobby instead of organizing my office. I will avoid anything that causes me anxiety, such as organization or getting rid of stuff, or I'm avoiding trying to figure out how to get my kids picked up from school starting in the new year, because now we've been called back to work and they no longer have the option to leave early, pick them up, and rejoin online. That's gone. So I'm avoiding that. It's just...
Okay, what is that avoidance getting you other than making you crazy?
It's just what I've always done. I know it's not working for me anymore.
Okay, so let's stop. Here's what I want you to start solving for.
Okay.
One thing and one thing only. We're not solving for money. We're not solving for relational bliss. We're not solving for great sex. We're not solving for parent of the year. We're going to solve for one thing, okay?
Okay.
Peace. And the only way to solve for peace is to begin to list the things that are setting you off and head directly into them.
Okay.
Because here's what's coming your way. A hard conversation with your husband about what kind of life do we want to live, do we want to have together.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me super carefully. You can have this in divorce court. You can have this while one of y'all is being open about your affair or pornography use or whatever, or in rehab. Or you can both just spend the next 20 years, most of which will be empty nesters, you on your iPad, him on his cell phone, and y'all 6 inches apart from each other on the couch, but 6,000 miles away from each other. Or January 1, which this show's coming out after that, but we're talking before that, you and your husband can go have a retreat. And y'all can get away for a day and be like, we get to create whatever world we want. What do we want our life to be like? You're about to be free from this crazy thing. We're going to have a whole bunch of money. What kind of world do we want to have? But you don't think you're worth that conversation. Because you're worried if you say, well, actually, what if we sold the house and just downsized? We have 2.5 years with our oldest left. What if we sold this house and downsized? You're afraid he's going to say, I'm never doing that. You know, it's a stupid idea. And now you got to deal with that. With a husband that's not on the same page as you. And you got to do this with your job. And you got to do this with your kids. You got to do this with your health. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just seeing a path of freedom right in front of you, but you got to walk towards it.
Well, that's helpful. Thank you.
It's not helpful. I mean, it's like, you're like, okay, thanks.
No, it is.
Okay, here's your homework. I'm going to send you a copy of Building a Non-Anxious Life. I'm going to send it to you as just my gift, okay?
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
But you got to promise that you'll go through it and you'll answer the questions and that you'll bring your husband with you.
Okay.
And if he says
I can
no,
promise that.
if he says no, then you say, well, I'm going to forge on ahead. Because all you can control is what you can control.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I want you to get a journal today on Amazon that's too expensive, a nice one. Silly nice.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want you to begin to write down in it the things that you are anxious about. And make a checklist and head right through them.
I've tried to journal and I don't even want to write it down. I'm afraid someone else will read it.
I know. You're an anxious mind, dude. I get it. I've lived that life. But you listen to me. You have to know on the other side of this, I am free. I get stressed. Okay. I get pissed off. I get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
But 95% of the time, my brain doesn't take off on me anymore. And when it does, I kind of know where it's from.
Yep.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep, I do.
Solve for peace.
Okay.
Not for avoidance, not for feeling good, not for maximization of profit, not to avoid a fight with my husband. Because sometimes to have peace, you got to go through a hard disagreement.
Right. Yeah.
Will you just say, I think I'm worth the effort that's coming?
You want me to say that right now?
Yep.
Okay. I am worth the effort that's coming.
Do you believe that?
I do, yes and no. I think it just depends on the day. And so the goal here is if I work towards the peace, I'll be reinforcing that message.
But you're going to have to reinforce it all the time. I want you to put on your mirror right after this call.
Okay.
A note that says, I am worth the work.
Okay.
Because what you have ahead of you is hard because you haven't done this your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You're still giving that bastard that hit you as a kid, you're still giving him a seat at your table.
Yep.
Get him out of your living room, for God's sake, or her. Get her out. Right? Get her out. Get these people out of your life. And then begin to ask your husband, like, what do we want our house to feel like? What do we want our finances to feel like? Why are we making all this money for what? For misery? If you love your team at work, if you don't like, now I'm going to have to navigate going back, we'll figure that out.